Emily didn't recognize this part of town. She didn't even know if it was a real address she had found. Did Gallatin Street exist, or was it something Jeremy had made up? As she closed in on the address, she began to worry. Would she meet Jeremy there, or was she running into the arms of the Dark Man himself?
You shouldn't have come.
Don't say that. You needed my help.
All I wanted was to keep people away from Desetto. Especially you, Emily. You're the only one in the family who forgave me for choosing old age over death.
Father still cares for you? He is paying for your treatment at Desetto.
To get rid of me! That's the only reason anyone's at Desetto. Someone in the family thought you were becoming an embarrassment.
Help me get you out of this mess, Jeremy. I want to take you away.
Your father would send me right back.
What if I take you up north, to Kingsport? I know Mother still has family up there. I've been thinking about going for a while now.
I haven't been to Massachusetts in years. I still paint from memory, you know? That old lighthouse makes for a great motif. Your father and I would go almost every summer. Then when our great-uncle died, we stopped going back.
What is there to be done about the Dark Man? He's the one holding you back, right? You feel like you can't leave without paying your debt to him.
The Dark Man has been with me since I was 12 years old. He was standing right on that stage right over there. For a brief moment, his gaze held mine. And that was it. I recognized him for what he was. The Hartwood curse embodied in flesh. I thought it was my turn. But I was only there to be mocked. Instead, his attention moved on to my father sitting next to me. I turned to him and saw his face. The whitest shade of pale I've ever seen. He bit off his tongue that night and suffocated.
What can be done, Jeremy? Please.
There's a way. 2 ways to be exact. One worse than the other. A written contract, now buried inside his sunken temple.
Don't you remember what it said?
I don't want to.
Try, Jeremy. What did the contract say?
No, we can't. We can't let New Orleans suffer that blight. I have to make this sacrifice.
What are you talking about? Is this the thing from the bayou? Juan said something.
Ah!
Okay, so there is a way to break the pact, at least. Hidden somewhere inside the Dark Man's temple. I just need to find it, somehow.
The Temple of Nephron-Ka lies under our camp. Despite all efforts, that unholy site did not collapse, but sink beneath the sand. The pharaoh is long dead, his name meticulously stricken from all ancient writing. But that stage meant for blood and terror remains. The temple is said to be lightless, built to harbor all the haunters of the dark found in the very depths of our universe. Calling on the gods meant creating a bridge between our world and theirs. The terrible Aldebaran of Taurus, the Black Sun, was seen as the most important star in the night sky. Because, according to the Kitab al-Azif, it was said to be the home of that crawling chaos known as Nyarlathotep. Through ancient mechanisms, it was said that the priests could open shafts channeling the light emitted by that strange stone called the Shining Trapezohedron. Several streams pooled together above the statue of that dark man would then be sent through space towards the Black Sun, a message to the gods. The gifts bestowed on the sender are completely undocumented, but often assumed to involve dark blood pacts, where souls are traded for malicious miracles.
Okay, you can do this, Emily. But it's a shallow pit of darkness. This is definitely where the contract is hidden, but how do I get to it? I think this one moves. working. Acknowledge psychological trauma. Break through the barriers of self-deceit. Temper manic behavior. Is this it? Is this the contract? Huh? Oh, Jeremy. How much pain and suffering you could have prevented.
Emily? What are you doing?
Detective, how is your investigation going?
Well, I still have no clue where Jeremy is, but I think I know why he's hiding. This place is full of lunatics planning to perform some kind of ritual tonight.
Well, that sounds ridiculous. Or rather would have just a day ago.
It gets worse. I have reason to believe they killed anyone who didn't want to go along with the plan.
Detective, have you encountered any monsters tonight?
I just told you, I think they killed people. Beauregard, the author, Perosi, the singer, Mr. Waits, the clerk, Mr. Chance, the gardener, they're all missing.
No, I mean, have you fired your gun tonight?
Of course not. They wouldn't just kill outsiders like that. It would bring too much attention. But you should keep your eyes open.
So you haven't seen anything strange? Been anywhere else?
What are you trying to tell me, Emily? Are you in some kind of danger? Let me drive you back to New Orleans. I think I have enough. You know, at least get the police to take a look at this case.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Detective.
I'll find your uncle, Miss Hartwood. Just stay out of trouble.
He must first acknowledge psychological trauma in order to proceed. The lying must stop, so we can break through the barriers of self-deceit. Finally, temper manic behavior.
Medicine has failed me. Nothing can be done to dispel the Hartwood curse. Only the sacrificial dagger may release the despair from Jacob's eye. Yet, doing so would be the doom of Derceto. Let this curse of mine be a weapon for once. I accept your demands. Oh, crawling chaos. Build your prison around this godforsaken hospital. When evil has been starved, I will stay buried forever.
If we can just get rid of Jeremy, everything will go back to normal.
That reminds me. I saw Miss Emily earlier. You remember her? You know she's Jeremy's niece.
She's looking for him.
That's right. She's helping us, in her own way.
As long as she don't stand in the way of the mother of 1,000 young.
I don't think she knows or cares about that. She just here for Jeremy. I've been more worried about that Detective Carmen fella. He been snooping around asking all kinds of questions.
God, it hurts.
I wish you would stop doing that. Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
The orderlies, Baptiste and Lottie were back at Derceto as well, like pieces of Emily's past haunting her. She couldn't figure out if they were on her side or not, and what was Lottie suffering from?
What is going on here? It's blocked.
Lunacy and the Astarte Artist Colony, a monograph by Yael Klein. In early 1909, the old Derceto plantation outside of New Orleans was turned into an artist's colony. 3 famous European artists rented the house and the surrounding land from the owner, the Ledoux family. The colony was chiefly run by Sebastian Cortez, who was playfully dubbed the captain by his collaborators, William Arges and Heinrich Kassel. The colony existed for 6 years, until one day all 12 members disappeared without a trace. It is widely believed that their disappearance is connected to the disastrous hurricane that passed through on September 29, 1915, but nothing truly supports this claim. What is known is their frequent participation in New Orleans nightlife, their love for hosting parties, and their elaborate contributions to the Mardi Gras parades as the Pirates of Pontchartrain. Accounts of their lifestyle can be found in almost every gossip column. It can effectively be summed up as carefree and bohemian. In late June 1909, the name Astarte first appeared in the newspapers. Cortez said the name came to him as he was painting. There is never any claim to knowing about the ancient Phoenician fertility goddess with the same name before this time. His fellow colonist Heinrich Kassel did know, because he later produced sculptures that show clear references to ancient idols of the goddess. It's impossible to know for sure how this name suddenly made an appearance, but it is interesting because of Derceto's history. Even the name Derceto is the Greek name of a Syrian fertility goddess. In the case of naming the plantation, Derceto was certainly not an accident. We know that Elijah Pickford intended to build a temple for his cult, for he had distributed pamphlets 2 years prior to the purchase of the land, advertising his intentions. His followers were estimated to be almost 100 men and women, mostly sailors, Maroons, and Cajuns, when the plantation was built. To outsiders, Derceto registered as an ordinary slave plantation, which enabled Pickford and his flock to remain hidden for decades. The official story is that the cult lasted until 1862, when the Union Army came and burned down the plantation and scattered all who lived there. Following the Civil War, new people started to congregate in the ruins of Derceto to invent a new fertility goddess, the Shub Niggurath. As much as Derceto is a particular name to have heard of, it's not entirely uncommon among the learned. Astarte is equally known and could have been subconsciously chosen by well-read artists. Shub Niggurath is, on the other hand, very uncommon. Almost impossible that anyone in Louisiana would have heard that name. The name is referenced only in rare books like Unaussprechlichen Kulten and the Necronomicon, and is believed to be a bastardization of Arabic words meaning pertaining to the dark young. The few paragraphs printed on the goddess are so upsetting that no one in their right mind would want to build a religion resting on such qualities. The Shub Niggurath cult was hard to get rid of, but it is believed that despite the police jailing and killing several cultists over the years, the main culprit in the cult's demise is the cult itself. which seems to line up with every instance of cult activity on Derseto's grounds. When Captain J.W. Norton of the Union Army arrived, he described the people at Derceto as malnourished and maniacal. As much as the army tried to save them, they fought back with fervor, as if nothing was going to stop them from slowly destroying themselves. While the disappearance of the Astarte Artis colony remains a mystery, the recurring motif seems to suggest that their fate involved lunacy and a hunger for self-sacrifice to that fertility goddess with 1,000 names.
Mr. Waits must have had a spare... I need the key. I don't know the combination. Wait, maybe I do.
Brother, I need you to trust me. This is the most important moment in our family's history. I know you have doubts and that the terrible Mama Loa told you lies. I would never betray you. I promise. Lottie.
think Dr. Gray is in there. Maybe I can go snoop around his office then.
We must have faith that Jeremy's pact with the Dark Man is a bluff. If we are lucky, our visitors will find him and prove it's all nonsense before night falls. What is true is our attempt to call on her. Too many things have happened for this evening to be in vain. Think of Jack and Cassandra, even Perosi, whose circumstances I can't understand. Grace is a goat without horns. She knows it and will play the role. You must talk to your brother, Baptiste. I worry that he will fail us. Mrs. Thompson.
Hey, little lady, how's your evening been going?
Ups and downs, I suppose.
I hear that. We all live in the life of an elevator operator.
Are you alright, sweetie?
Do you want to see my mask, miss? I'm making it for St. John's.
How did you... Is that supposed to be my... Ow!
You should learn your place, little girl.
Why are you acting this way? What did I ever do to you? Grace! Grace! I'll just borrow these. At least he's breathing. I'll just let him sleep it off.
Jeremy knew that the only one who could help him now was the guest in room number 3. The room seemed to have been empty for so long. But that wasn't allowed to be true. The story needed to be different. To include something from the outside, he would bring the guest back to room 3 and show them what was in that safe. 913. But those were not the right numbers. That was the combination for the safe in the clerk's office.
It worked.
The last guest in the empty room suffered from severe maladaptation. I must write this down, because if I understand the condition sufficiently, it could make me deny this fact at a later date, and there is reason for me to think I may come to suffer the consequences from this dysfunction, as some who came in contact with the guest seemed to adopt a new worldview in which everything was predetermined but broken. Upon accepting this worldview, some memories became unmanageable and later rejected. I do not know what this means. I cannot even remember the fate of the guest. I think they were simply misplaced one day and forgotten. Just like all documents pertaining to this guest, they have all been destroyed, or they never existed in the first place. Who wrote this? There has never been a guest in the empty room.
Here we are, Dr. Gray's office. Now let's see if we can find some answers.
I have finished tidying up Miss Beauregard's belongings. I will leave it to you to contact her agent and have them collect her things. I found one of Grace's drawings she might want back, along with this key in her room, which I believe you've been looking for, Mrs. Thompson.
Dearest Dr. Manzetti, I find myself in a losing battle with my patient. As I've disclosed in my previous letter, his delusions have him completely captured. It's bad enough that he is torturing himself with paranoia, but his madness turns out to be quite persuasive to others, effectively laying the ground for mass delusion. I am writing to you in hope that you can give me some guidance. Beyond my ambition to avoid devastating surgery on my patient, I have grown worried about my own defenses. The words of my patient are deranged, yet they often resonate with something primitive within me. I have tried photographing his brain with X-rays. It was surprisingly difficult to get good results. Dark blotches on the plates kept obscuring all details. My patient looked at the bad plates and cried out in terror, telling me the dark areas was the shadow of the worm, eating him from inside. I could not see anything out of the ordinary. I hope this is a sign that my mind is not as receptive to the madness as I had feared. After further inquiry, my patient described the shadows inside his mind as some kind of chthonic monstrosity that wants to undermine his sanctuary. This is clearly a reference to a place he calls Teroea, a sort of library or convent that works as a psychological haven. With this imaginary haven threatened by this Chthonian, he has now constructed another, less pleasant hiding spot. Lately, he has been bringing up a metaphor of a steamboat that has run aground, that he feels like he needs to start the engines and reverse, but he is afraid that the hole in the hull would cause the whole ship to sink. I've been watching him turn this metaphor into reality for the last week. He knows it's made up, but he is doubling down, trying to make it a real memory. I feel certain that this is my chance to break through the barriers of his self-deceit.
something missing.
Emily felt lost as she entered the office of Dr. Gray, much like she had the last time she was here. She began to question what she was hoping to find. She was simply going on a hunch that Dr. Gray was somehow tied up in this contract with the Dark Man. Emily couldn't even begin to imagine what kind of evidence she would need. Besides a clear confession, of course. But she doubted she would ever find something like that. She was grasping at straws. The steps on the contract were so confusing to her that she was just hoping to get some small indication on where to go next.